Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll be showing you 10 tips and tricks for new Ironman players. Now they're mostly going to be beginner and general tips. Here is a quick disclaimer. You might have to get out of your comfort zone, but if you don't, then well, this guide might or might not be suited for you because a lot of these tips are probably unheard of. Number 1. The best starting items. The first one is called the Dwarven Army Axe. You can claim this by talking to the mayor in Berthorpe. Now this will act as a steel hatchet and a steel pickaxe. On top of that, you also get a slight XP boost in cooking. The second item is called the Ring of Kinship. You can get this from the Dungeoneering tutor in Daemonheim. While the effect is mostly Dungeoneering based, but it actually gives you a really good emergency bank teleport. And I mean, there really aren't a lot of things in the game that work in combat and teleport you pretty close to a bank. The third item is the Wicked Hood. There's an NPC in Berthorpe right near the rune shop, so go ahead and claim this for free. This will offer you unlimited teleports to the Wizard's Tower for Runespan, or just for your Viswax daily. In addition, it will give you free daily essence for crafting the runes, as well as 200 runes for free. The fourth item is the Caitlyn Staff. Somewhere in the Blood Pack quest, you should be able to find this. And trust me, it's only 5 minutes as an easy quest, so this will give you free unlimited air runes. Tip number 2, magics first. Before I explain anything, just go to the Berthorpe Lodestone and enter the dungeon. Early on, you won't have many abilities to use, and so you're just gonna set your combat settings to legacy mode. Do you know why I do magic? Because I find this the most important skill for Ironman characters. Not only does it unlock you several teleports, but it also gives you the ability to high alch, which most of the money making methods are high alch based, and on top of that you also get to surge, which you get to move faster, and sometimes it just makes moving a lot easier, trust me. In terms of low and mid-level accessibility, well, magic also comes out on top amongst the 3 styles. Well, the Gothic Staff is easier to get than compared to a tier 60 range or a melee weapon. Honestly, this is actually the best style for learning bosses and even doing bosses in the end game. Basically, you're going to combine the Gothic Staff special attack and the vulnerability spell, which will deal you massive DPS. Now I know I'm obviously talking end game, but by training here at Berthorpe, this should take around 35 to 40 minutes at Trolls. Coming at number 3, we have the Hatchets and Pickaxes. You can get to the Bob's Brilliant Axes, which is south of the Lumbridge Lodestone. Good old days of just browsing his store as a free-to-play player, when back in the day we couldn't just smith. Anyways, they now stock up on Addy Hatchet, so go ahead and buy one if you need one. If you're patient and you're willing to get 32 quest points, then well, the Champions Guild does stock the Rune Hatchet. After you enter, just go south and climb up 1 floor. So the second store is the Pickaxe store, and it's located in the Dwarven Mines. Just run around the Living Rock Cavern's entrance and you'll find this. Here is a really cool tip, and a lot of you might not know this. Now you only need to buy both a Rune Pickaxe and a Rune Hatchet. By buying both of them and then adding them to your tool belt, this will allow you to use the highest available tool without even owning it. So essentially it saves you a lot of starting cash. For example, if you're using a Rune Pickaxe and you add this to your tool belt, right? But you only have 21 mining, well, instead what ends up happening is you're going to use your Mithril Pickaxe, then it will upgrade to Admin, and it will scale all the way up until you're level 41 mining, in which case it will automatically use the Rune Pickaxe in your tool belt. Number 4. Easy low level food. There are 2 really good food stores in my mind. The first one is the Gnome Food Store in the Grand Tree. Just go to the RD Lodestone, then run north and enter the Grand Tree. So you just trade the Gnome Waiter and it's located in the northwest corner of the Grand Tree. I know it's a really long walk there, but trust me, the food is just really nice there. So there is a lot of pre-made food, so go ahead and buy that if you want. It will heal anywhere from 800 to 1.5k HP. The second shop is the Kromja Fishing Store. This is easier to get to, and so it is located north of the Brimhaven Lodestone. For those who are wondering, well, do I have to do this every day? Well no, because these shops do restock pretty fast, so you can pretty much just buy these anytime you want. If you're really poor, then well, we do have the Catherby Baker's Stall, which is pretty nice for starting food. Now you can get a lot of cakes here in a short period of time. This will heal you up to 1k HP per inventory slot in 3 bites at level 40 Constitution. It's also even good for thieving XP. See, this is even faster than fishing itself. Like, if you want fishing and cooking XP, then there are a lot of great alternative ways besides fishing lobsters. Because I know a lot of you Ironmen out here are trying to stock up on lobsters for survival. But trust me, these 2 stores plus the Baker's Stall combined is much better than that. Number 5. The Corrupted SCARABS. This only requires the Jack of Spades quest complete. Of course, it's located in Menethos. So the FC that tracks this is called Soul Obby. they'll basically call a world followed by an S, which stands for SCARABS. You'll just pretty much pop them, and yeah, the Slayer XP is pretty decent. Now the big reason why I did this is because it requires no combat gear, so there's really no hassle of switching gears and banking for food and supplies and loot. I mean, it does offer you some pretty decent money, plus there's a small chance of getting a prismatic star as well. Of course, I am aware that you can do your daily Reaper tasks and it will give you tremendous Slayer XP, but if for whatever reason you can't get carried or you're struggling at a boss, then this is actually not a bad choice to do instead. Now while you are taking damage for doing this, you can actually suicide if you want, and you'll end up spawning right near the lodestone. This is actually not a safe death, so I warn you, don't suicide if you're hardcore Ironman. You could stand at the Merchant District Bank and you'll heal up pretty quickly. Unfortunately, it isn't always called, so I do suggest you do your bank skills in between. When you squish them all, you can actually travel back to the shifting tombs and it will reset the spawns. Every time it spawns, it should last around 5 minutes before all the scarabs despawn again. Number 6, doing quests. Do your quests. No, seriously, do your quests. No, please, just do your quests, cause really, quests can save you a lot of time when it comes to grinding, especially for difficult skills. So it offers you really amazing rewards that, main accounts could have bought instead. It didn't exist when I was low level, but the quest point shop now offers you free cash and a tier 75 weapon at 150 quest points. So really, if you're not doing quests, then well, you're kind of missing out on a lot of rewards. Here are a couple of low level quest examples that are pretty good for XP. The waterfall quest will give you instant 30 melee stats. Then we have the Holy Grail, which will give you prayer XP and defense XP. And finally, the Knight's Sword for smithing XP. Of course, there are definitely more examples to include, but those are particularly really good ones. Tip number 7, planning. Now, I know this isn't really clear for me to explain, but I'm gonna try my best. So it's always nice to have something to strive for, and you want to set a plan on how you do it accordingly. So I would try my best to divide a few goals in your mind. Examples include the temple trekking, the lunar armor, the gothic staff, the priv, the sun spear, etc. Number 8, always do your dailies. So some of you don't like doing dailies, and yes, I agree with you, I don't like doing dailies nowadays. However, a lot of dailies in this game really help you. They are actually the most efficient way to play RuneScape, because technically you could just go on to play RuneScape and play dailies, and you don't even need to spend that much time playing, realistically. The reason being is because this gives you a lot of XP in a small period of time. The only disadvantage is that it's limited, so you can't just do it whenever you want. Unfortunately, the other reason why I don't do dailies as much is because, well, it feels really time consuming to do them. So a couple of examples of good dailies are the Gothic Scene Cache, the Nemi Forest, the Viswax, the Shooting Star, Big Chinchompa, Evil Trees, etc. Believe it or not, this got me through the low levels really fast. If it wasn't for dailies, I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today. Number 9, it's okay to be poor. A lot of Ironmen try to make as much money as possible early on. Now, you don't need to stockpile on a lot of cash in advance. The reason being is because you're better off investing time for even faster money making methods in the game. Personally, I've only gotten green cash stack once, up until like 2.3k total level, which they added the quest point shop. Eventually, you will get to the point where you will have a lot of spare money while you're doing things like Slayer, Vires, PVM, and with the addition of the new quest point shop, well, this makes it even better to just do quests for money instead of just trying to make money actively. Generally speaking, I really only need to do money making if I'm serving enough GP to do dailies, like the Miscellanea for example. When it comes to membership, yeah, I know a lot of you are going to struggle with this, but you want to use your main account to supply the bonds for you. Or better yet, just buy membership cards and you won't have to worry about having to make money in RuneScape for membership. Like, the reason being is because it's just so much harder to maintain a bond when you're an Ironman, especially at the low levels. So seriously, just use your main account to supply bonds, or better yet, buy your membership cards. So last but not least, we have the other Ironman resources. I will definitely leave all the links in the description. The first one is the RS3 Ironman subreddit. Now, as you can see, it is pretty much an Ironman community, so you can make your own posts whenever you like for Ironman content, or just ask a question and a lot of experts will reply to you. There are also some good Ironman spreadsheets, so I suggest you have a read on it. The first one is the Man Lover spreadsheet, and the second one is the Guide to Max. They will offer you lots of Ironman information to read on. See, when I first started Ironman mode, I was really clueless, and I've actually done a couple of days reading the spreadsheets before I even started it, just because I wanted to be more than prepared for the challenge. Of course, I'm not saying you should do that, but yeah, that's how I did that personally. So this wraps up my 10 tips and tricks for new Ironman players. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If you have any more tips and tricks or if I missed anything, feel free to ask. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I'll definitely be doing more Ironman guides in the future. And of course, don't forget to follow my Efficient Ironman series.